What's up, guys? My name is Brady Hart. I'm an indie sci-fi author, and today I'm going to make an inspiration tree graphic for my book, Deen the Dreamwalker. Before I get started, I wanted to read you my pitch for this book. On a far future Mediterranean island, a 16-year-old boy named Deen dusts off the broken-down 8-foot gorilla avatar his father lugged home on the day he died. It's called a jacket, a kind of avatar controlled remotely by a person's mind and built for sports. On Deen's island, jacket sports are everything, and he's determined to move past his dad's mysterious drowning and win glory in the Sea Garden Cup. With a reckless fighting style, Deen earns a spot on a team run by the famous Kaza sisters who compete with rare jungle cats. Despite reports of disfigured monsters lurking in the luxury neighborhood where the girls live, Deen won't miss his chance for anything. So he hauls his gorilla to their mansion for training. But soon, sun-drenched days turn into blood-soaked nights as the monsters strike from the shadows with an ability to hack jackets and make them freeze up or malfunction. When Deen's teammate is attacked through the tech plugged into her human brain, the kids discover a horrifying truth. Something ancient has been terrorizing their island, starting with Deen's father all those years ago. And now they're in danger no matter the body they wear, animal jacket or their own skin and bones. So as we take a look at the inspiration tree, I'm going to let this video get started, this time lapse of myself creating the graphic. Basically, authors often pitch their books as story A meets story B. So you might say, vampires meet Pride and Prejudice. Or you might say, The Hunger Games meets Downton Abbey, right? Those are an interesting way to compare two different stories to give you an idea of, oh, I see. Well, yeah, I see how you could compare those in a strange way. This helps people get an idea for the book in just one sentence. So here you can see I'm gathering a few different images of stories that have inspired mine. You can see The Legend of Korra, Avatar: The Legend of Korra, and Pro Bending is something that inspired my story. You can see Animorphs, which is an old 90s series where teenagers transform into animals with alien technology. You can also see Harry Potter 4, specifically the Triwizard Tournament, the grand multi-school sports tournament that Harry and his friends compete in that book. You can also see that Stranger Things is a large inspiration for my story. As I build this graphic, I'm choosing tags and representing them in different sizes. This is to show you that some things play a bigger part in inspiring my book than others. So for example, the concept of teens investigating monsters from the Stranger Things world, that's a large inspiration for my book, and that's something that happens in my book. The teenage characters are investigating monsters that are appearing in their town, and it works in a similar way to how it works in Stranger Things. You can see I've also added Brandon Sanderson's Skyward and Pierce Brown's Red Rising, and I've added tags for what those stories bring to the creation of my story. Now, for Animorphs, you can see the largest tag is animal forms. That's because these animal jackets that I talked about in the pitch, they are everything in the world of Deen the Dreamwalker. Animal jackets are used for sports, they're used for working, they're used for recreation with friends and family. In the world, most people have access to an animal jacket. If you were to walk the streets of Thaladika City, that's the city in my book, you would see gorillas and chimpanzees and orangutans, and you would see tigers and leopards, and you would see hawks and cranes, all of these interesting, amazing animals flying around the city piloted by human minds because the animals are avatars. They're not actually living animals, but they're bodies that are being driven by human brains. Okay, you can see here that I've got the graphic mostly created, and it gives us a good idea of what are the main inspirations for the book. And using size, it shows which IPs have inspired my book more than others, right? Which are the story elements from Animorphs and Stranger Things and Harry Potter that have inspired my book. You can see that I've added a few other tags here, and I added a tag signifying whether plot or world building was the main thing coming from a certain IP. So you can see from Harry Potter 4, I was inspired by the plot, and it's that plot of a sports tournament that involves the magic system in the book. And you can see from Stranger Things, I was also inspired by the plot, and that's that teenagers investigating monsters plot that I use in my book. In Animorphs, I'm inspired by the world building, the idea that human beings could transform into animals. So here you have it. This is my inspiration tree graphic. Now, my book, Deen the Dreamwalker, is in beta now. I am looking for beta readers. So if this is interesting to you, you can have a chance to read the manuscript early and give feedback on things like plot and character arc and foreshadowing and anything else that you might like to give feedback on. Check the link in the description if you're interested.